Hey, Lauren. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. It might be something on my end, though. Let me see. All right, let's test this now.
How about now?
Perfect.
All right. Good.
Sometimes when I put my headphones in for the microphone, it makes things go funky, but we're working. How are you this morning?
Outside of the norm. Something happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that background. Are you actually standing in front of the background, or is that?
I'm at my desk, so if I move this over, you see all the madness behind me. So kind of clears up the clutter a little bit.
Yeah, I've actually thought about doing one of the virtual backgrounds, or even just like this blur thing right here, so you can't see all the stuff behind me. But
oh yeah,
kind of creepy.
I have this one, which is very similar to what I have right now. I have this virtual background.
I like that one.
And then we have this
I
one.
have this
too.
one, but it always swaps out backwards.
Oh, no, it looks good on my side.
It looks right on your side?
Yeah, because it mirrors it for the audience. Because mine's backwards too for me with this one right now. But when I look, right, is it backwards for you or is it?
No, yours is right.
Yeah, I don't know why it mirrors
That
it
one too.
on the screen.
But yeah, I don't know. Not worried about it. So are you guys all back in the office? Have you been back in the office?
So I can't remember how long ago they started taking a small number of people each day.
Mhm.
It's mostly like today we have probably 8 people at most in the building. There's other days where there's like 3 people. So it's not 100%. I'm only here Wednesday mornings.
Really?
And then because Melanie and her desk is actually right behind me over here. So Melanie and I share an office, so we can't both be in at the same time.
Okay.
Just because we're too close.
Right.
Or we might be just at 6 feet apart, but then we'd have to wear the mask all day. So we're like, well, do we want to wear the mask all day at our desk? So we she's the manager, so she comes in more often. What was that? I'm sorry.
Said if they give you the option of working from home, take it.
Yeah. So I just got a puppy in February. So then that's been nice because then I could be there with him and train him a little bit and get him in a somewhat of a routine.
What kind of puppy?
He's a mix. So we were told lab when we got him. Then we got his paperwork, and his paperwork said terrier, but he definitely has a lot of lab qualities to him. And then, but when he started crying for the first time, we're like, oh, you are also part beagle. So he's just a bunch of different things.
I know that cry. My parents had a beagle mix, and it was annoying.
He doesn't do it too often, luckily.
It lived forever. It was like 27 when it died.
Oh wow.
Wow.
No, it was like 18, but I mean, it might as well be right. If you're 18, might as well be 27.
Wow, that's a long time for a dog.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, Kelly.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Look how far we've come.
I know it.
Is that crazy?
It is crazy. It's a good crazy, I guess.
I know.
Something. Well, we're looking forward to this one. We've been promoting it pretty big.
Yeah, I see that. I get the emails.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Eric and I were on the radio yesterday promoting it. So
Oh, wow.
see if we get anyone from that.
Thousands of people with listening.
Thousands on WBTA, AM and FM.
Ooh. I love radio. Whenever we have like a big study come out, I always pitch all the morning shows across the state because it's something that needs a little bit more attention than just a quick news bite.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially when the
love
scam
it.
study came out. about a month ago. We did a ton of radio, and it's just so awesome to be able to tell the story and have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
It was funny during the pandemic. I was on one of the morning shows in Rochester, and after I got off the phone, my husband goes, "Who's in their cars?
Ah,
Everybody's working at home. Who's listening to the radio?" I go, "You'd be surprised. Like, I have the apps on my phone so I can listen to the radio."
I drove in today listening to my app instead of my actual radio because I have a rental right now and the radio sucks. So good thing for the apps.
Oh yeah. Especially if you're like, you're working at home and you want to catch the
Yeah.
local news or whatever. I was a radio journalist a
Ah,
long time ago. So I have like this special like soft spot in my heart for radio. And I always, anytime a radio reporter calls, I get excited because I'm like, good, they're still working.
it's still in your genes. Well, I sold ads on it for a radio station. I don't know. It wasn't, I was broke, but it was kind of a fun job back in the day.
My best friend moved down to Cattaraugus County. And my husband's out of town, so she stays over whenever my husband's out of town. And she's like,
Yeah.
"Remember when you used to work morning radio and you'd have to get up at like 2:30 in the morning?" I'm like, "Yeah."
It's the middle of the night. 2:30
Yeah.
does not qualify for morning.
Well, you had to get there and write everything, and
Oh my God. I don't know how they do that. People with a schedule like that.
you get used to it. It was weird when I started at BBB. I was producing the morning show at what was YNN, and I had to be at work at 1 a.m.
Does that count for like third shift? What does that count for?
Early first.
Yeah, yeah. Oh gosh. Hi, Michael.
Hello, Kelly. I was going to say a lot of times we're just getting home. I don't know if that
That was a long time ago.
that was a long time ago, though. Many, many moons ago.
My Fridays, I would get home from work at like 10:30 in the morning and like go to sleep immediately because we would always go to the Friday night Bison's games. So I was like, I have to get my sleep or else I'm going to be a wreck. Be sleeping in the stands.
Hi, Steven.
Hi, Kelly.
Are you playing video games?
I got Call of Duty going.
You don't play Call of Duty. You're too scared to play that game.
I rely on my friend Kyle to just tell me what to do.
Vaughn doesn't want to show herself. That's a very pretty picture, Vaughn.
I just saw Yvonne like 5 minutes ago. So
Oh, on the other Zoom, huh?
on the other Zoom, yep.
Oh, there you
There
go.
There you are.
Morning.
See, you're more beautiful in person. Come on.
Oh, I don't know about that, but you're very kind. How are ya?
Good. How you guys over there?
Hanging in there.
Yeah. How's my friend Jan?
She's good.
Yeah.
Good.
This is her time of year where she promotes all her plants and programs and
They're
Okay,
planning an in-person spring gala, so
good.
fingers crossed.
Who did I hear was doing one we heard yesterday? The YW.
YWC. No. It was the Mumford Museum. Remember?
At Mumford, but
At Mumford.
it's
For the YW?
Yeah.
Oh,
We have 15 signed up, so we got about 10 now. So we'll give them another minute or two and then we'll get rolling. They want to keep people longer than we have to.
Right.
Good morning, Amanda Gallo.
She's not showing herself either.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are things?
Good.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
Eric, how's the first month been? You still made it.
They treat me
Right.
like garbage here. It's
I'm sure the
hazing
hazing's got to be out of control over there.
horrendous. If Steven finds one more awkward way to take a picture of me, though, it's gonna be that.
Just get used to it.
I've got
Yeah.
one where Tom's knighting me with scissors. I've
Oh,
got
right.
one where I'm awkwardly shaking hands with a gecko.
Yep.
Um,
It's gonna keep coming.
yeah,
That's just the beginning. That's just the
Mhm.
beginning.
continues to find a
The-
way.
the
Some
big
of the
scissors that are
athletes.
behind your head.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Actually,
Steven, you need to share those pics.
Yeah.
I'll give you time in the presentation to do
They
that.
were up there.
Yeah.
I can send them to you. I'll email them to you. Sir Eric.
Can we
You
put
have to
those on your
follow the
BBB
Chamber's
profile?
Facebook page in order to see those. All right, well, let's get going. I want to welcome everybody today to our virtual workshop. We have Melanie McGovern and Lauren, I'm going to butcher your name, Kirchmeyer, right, Lauren?
Kirchmeyer, but you're close.
Okay, from the Better Business Bureau, are going to be our presenters today, but quickly, if we could just go around the room and introduce ourselves. This is a great way to network. So who you are, where you're from, maybe a quick why you're here. Lauren, Beck, you are the closest person to me on my screen, so you can go first.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So Lauren Beck, I work with Hunt Real Estate. Opened last month. Super excited.
Great, thanks. Michael.
Hello, everybody. Mike Pataglia from Equitable Advisors. Just trying to take advantage of the programs that are available with the chamber and kind of support it as long as, obviously it supports me. So try to meet everybody and take advantage of, from what I talk to people in my Buffalo office, the things that the Batavia Chamber, the Genesee County Chamber does is superior to most chambers in the Western New York. So good job.
Yeah, Michael. Thank you.
He tells that to everybody.
Yeah.
Wait till we have in-person events again, Michael, then you'll really see.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
Rob.
Rob Wilhoft. I handle technology for Virgin Evangelical Presbyterian Church, and we're sort of new to this, so that's what we're trying to figure out here.
Well, welcome. Hopefully you picked a good one to be on. Yvonne Peck, I just introduced.
Yvonne Peck, I'm the operations coordinator at Cornell Cooperative Extension, and Peggy Marone's admin for LG. We lost our admin and we're trying to clean up and get our name out there on social media. And so that's why I'm joining today to learn more about that. So.
Thank you. Amanda.
Hello, I'm the president of the Genesee County Ag Society and the Fair Board. So we have a great working relationship with the chamber. We do the advertising through Icebreaker with them. So I'm here just to learn more about social media platforms because we have found that that is our best way to network to get the community more involved.
Excellent. Gretchen. There's a Gretchen on my screen. You're muted.
Oh, there she is.
Good morning. I'm Gretchen Jackson from Cherry Hill Campground in Darien Center. I've been to several of the in-person early morning meetings, and they're always very informative, and it's a great way to pick up some new information and network with everybody. So I'm looking forward to today's topic.
We had a really great business after hours out there back in the day, huh, Gretchen?
Yes, it was great having everybody come out, and those get-togethers are a lot of fun.
Well, I think everybody knows Kelly B and Steven, but if you guys want to take a quick second.
Kelly Birmingham, what am I? Director of Member Relations and Special Events and anything that my wonderful boss, Eric Fix, asks me to do.
He's only been here a month, Kelly. Hi, I'm Stephen Politico. I'm the Membership Development Director for the Chamber. Kelly and I work very closely on all these things. So you'll be seeing us, hopefully in person soon.
And I am their boss for the past month, Eric Fix. I've been with the chamber this is my 4th full week now. Really enjoying it and enjoying getting to know everybody, all of our members and key leaders in our community. So thank you all for joining us today. I think I see Lori Path just popped in. So Lori, we're just doing a quick intro, who you are, where you're from, why you're here. So you're up.
Hi, sorry. Oh my gosh, I've got IT working on my computer. I'm like, I'm waiting to get into a meeting, so I apologize. Hopefully he can hold off for a minute. Lori Paff from Liberty Pumps. Very interested to attend this, just kind of, you know, trying to keep up on things and see what everybody else is doing, and you know, just trying to keep ourselves out there in the community.
All right, thanks. I've got saved the best two for last. So Lauren and Melanie, I'm going to turn it over to you guys and let you take over.
I need someone to let me share my screen, please. Steven.
Actually, Eric has taken the
Eric.
responsibility over now. I know. I always did it for Tom, but I think Eric's got it.
I think I got it for you. Try it now.
There we go. Okay. Share. All right. Ignore that it says Chemung Chamber because it's for everybody. There we go. Lauren, I'm going to let you introduce yourself first because it sounds like everybody wants to hear from you today, our social media expert.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren Kirchmeyer. I'm the Marketing and Outreach Coordinator with Better Business Bureau of Upstate New York. I've been here for about 2.5 years now. And one of my primary jobs in this role is our social media. So hopefully I can give you some tips and ideas today on ways to promote your business through social media. And I also do a lot of other things too. Melanie and I like to joke we're a two-woman department, so we both wear a lot of hats. So I also go out to a lot of networking events, work with different chambers, go to trade shows. Right now we're learning how to do trade shows in the virtual world as well. So that's been a fun new twist and a lot of other fun stuff. But I'll talk to you more about social media today. So hopefully you learned something new. And Melanie, go ahead.
Yes. So I'm Melanie McGovern. I'm the communications director. I'm going to just pull up our little pictures. We call these our pre-pandemic pictures. And I always joke, this picture was the reason I got Invisalign, and now we have to wear masks everywhere. So money well spent. So I've been with Better Business Bureau for 7 years. I just celebrated my 7-year anniversary with the organization. I have so many hats, I need a rack for them, between being chief spokesperson, managing our community partner program, which the Genesee County Chamber is, and doing all of the digital marketing, traditional marketing, communications, public relations, website. Yesterday, I literally locked myself in our office, and she's in the office today. I'm at home because we cannot be together in the office because we share. Locked my door, shut off my phones, and just worked on our website for hours. So there's a lot that we need to know about websites. So because it's important to have that good website, to have that great social media, because it all comes back to online reputation management. 93% of consumers use the internet in 2020 every day to look for businesses, or to find businesses. 34% searched every day. I mean, we were all locked in our homes. We didn't know what to do. So everybody was going online to search for everything from what restaurant is opened and doing takeout to, oh no, my toilet's clogged, I need a plumber. So people were online looking at companies, looking at businesses. That positive online reputation helps customers trust your businesses, can turn into leads, and helps boost you in local search. So we're going to talk about those types of things today. I'm going to introduce everybody to the Better Business Bureau. Not everybody knows that they have a Better Business Bureau in upstate New York because we are in Buffalo, but we are a statewide organization. We're going to talk about the BBB standards of trust and how it all relates to managing your online reputation. I'm going to go through the basics. I'm going to show everybody what a BBB business profile looks like. We're going to get into, we are a Google partner, so we do offer Google webinars to our members. And as the chamber is a community partner, they can share those as well. I will get you guys the link to our one next week because it's the one that everybody wants to do, how to update your profile on Google, which is a fantastic webinar. We're going to talk about your website. A lot of people think their website is set it and forget it, but it's something that always needs to be updated. Online directories, because whether you know it or not, you're out there and they might have the wrong information about you. Some of the up and coming forums that people are turning to look for businesses, and everybody's favorite, email marketing. There's so much about email. I could do a whole presentation on email marketing. It's it's very interesting. Lauren and I are going to talk about customer reviews because customer reviews is a two-person job because it's very, very important that businesses have those customer reviews. And Lauren's going to go through social media, content ideas, and how important your social presence is. So Lauren, I'm going to let you start off with the intro to BBB.
Like Melanie mentioned, we are based in Buffalo, New York, but we service the 48 counties of upstate New York. So on the map, we are everything that you see in blue. And then there's a second office in New York State that's based in New York City, and they handle everything that you see in gray.
This is the website for BBB. When we redid the website, and we're currently working on another iteration of this website. I'm part of the team for the International Association that's doing that, which is very exciting. When we asked people, what do you go to BBB for? The first thing they said was, I want to search for a business. So that's the screen. First thing, find a business. I don't know why it says Raleigh. I did this at my desk. I must have been looking for something with the Raleigh BBB. The second thing was to file a complaint. Everybody knows that, BBB is the place to go when you have to file a complaint or to file a customer review. So when you go to bbb.org, it will take you to our local BBB. Again, I don't know why it says Raleigh, and you'll be able to search businesses, search for profiles, and file reviews and complaints there. We have a bunch of other services. I'm not going to get into the weeds on a lot of them. We do advertising reviews. So if you see advertising that you think isn't true, isn't accurate, they're embellishing facts, send it over. We have an advertising review coordinator who will review it and let people know, hey, you can't say that. You have to substantiate it. There's a code of advertising that the BBB uses. We have our scam tracker tool, which is amazing. All those dots are scams that are reported to us. Every scam is confirmed by our team before it is published. A lot of times scams are just complaints. So then we refer the person to file a complaint. We have an investigator on our staff. So if we see what we call a pattern of complaints, so let's say there's a contractor who's taking deposits and not doing the work, and we have 4 or 5 people reporting that, we'll start investigating. We'll work with the Attorney General. We'll issue an alert, things like that. So we do have an investigator on staff who looks into those things. We have a charity review program. So 501c3s, nonprofits can get accredited just like businesses. They don't pay for their accreditation like businesses do, but their standards are very rigorous. So all of those charities are listed at give.org. And we have our world famous dispute resolution services where we act as the neutral third party between the consumer and the business to resolve a complaint. Lauren, I'm like out of breath. That's a lot.
In order for a business to become accredited with Better Business Bureau, they need to meet our 8 standards of trust. These are the things that we really look for to show that you are a trustworthy business. You're doing the most that you can for the consumer and for the community. So the first is build trust. The second is advertise honestly. Third is tell the truth. Fourth is be transparent. Fifth is honor promises. 6 is be responsive. 7 is safeguard privacy. And 8 is embody integrity. You might be wondering why we decided to include this in our PowerPoint today. And that's because each of these standards are something that you could do with your online reputation, what you're putting out there to let people know that you are a trustworthy business, showing people that you're honoring promises, that you're building trust in your community, you're advertising honestly. So showing those with your posts that you share online or on your website, wherever it may be. These are 8 key things that you can think about when you're going to share.
Yep, and that's what we're going to be talking about a lot today. Trust, honesty, and responsiveness. I was reading I think it was a Facebook post from a company, and they went through and responded to every single negative comment, but they didn't say thank you for the positive ones. I don't know. Responsiveness, you have to be responsive no matter what the situation is. I'm just going to go quickly through. This is a BBB business profile. Businesses do not need to be accredited to have one. You can have a file on bbb.org. If you don't know if you do, you should check it out because some companies do not realize they have a file on our website. It just breaks down all of the things that if you are a BBB accredited business, you can share on your profile and all of the things that all of the benefits such as get a quote. So if you are a company that relies on quotes or traffic from other sources, they can find you on BBB and ask you for a quote on a job or for a product. You can add your logo, photos. A lot of our contractor type companies add before and afters or pictures of job sites to show people this is the work they do. If you are accredited, you get a more robust profile. If you're not, you just get your business listing, your hours, and things like that. This, we always tell people, treat it, if you are accredited, treat it like a second website, because people really do look at these. I mean, we have millions of hits every month of people searching for businesses on bbb.org. So that's just something interesting. It's indexed by Google as well. So if somebody's searching for you on Google, they'll see your BBB business profile pop up. So that's pretty cool. And then a lot of people will click through to see what your rating is, if you have complaints and if you have reviews. So everybody needs to Google their business just to see what people are saying about you. It's so important because you want to see this. I love this product, 5 stars. You don't want to see this. This business sucks. And a lot of people don't know that that kind of information is out there about them because they're not taking command of their online presence. Your Google My Business page is literally the first thing people see about your company, because I would say 98% of searches start on Google. So you want to make sure you have your account. And if there is a listing for you, you want to claim it. That's really important, because then you can start customizing it like we've done. And it's interesting. We took that photo back in 2014 when I started, and I think it has 1 million views. So that's how many times people have searched for our Better Business Bureau. Is your contact information correct? I know Lauren worked with one of our accredited businesses who had a hard time trying to get their page updated, because you want to make sure that your information is correct. Because again, this is one of the first things people see about your company. Do you have a photo of your building or your logo? So I used to travel, and I would go to, a lot of small towns, a lot of chamber partners of ours, in places I've never been. And I relied on that Google photo to make sure I was walking into the right building if the building wasn't marked. So you want to make sure you have a photo of your building or your logo. This is in front of our building, so it's something that the first thing people see when they come around the bend. You can also share updates here. Lauren does a lot of work on our Google profile, like with webinars and things like that. If we have contests going on, if we're trying to reach out to our businesses, just like any other social media platform, you can put updates.
And that is free for you as well. So if you don't have a Google My Business listing, it's free for you to claim. And we encourage you to claim it just because, like Melanie said, it's the first thing people are going to see if they search your business. It's going to pop up on the right side of their screen. It's free. You can share as many updates as you want to, and it sends you alerts too. So if you didn't update your hours for a holiday, for example, and you're going to be closed for, we'll say Memorial Day, because that one's coming up, it'll remind you, are your hours different for Memorial Day? If yes, you might want to change that so it reflects properly in case someone was planning to visit you on that day. So it's an awesome resource.
Yeah, and it's, again, where people are going first to find you. So you definitely want to make sure that's updated. Where's the second place they're going? To your website. So a lot of people decided to start managing their own websites, especially during the pandemic. So the questions you have to ask yourself, are you managing your website yourself? Is a team member doing it, or do you have a third party doing it? In a lot of cases, it's kind of tough with a third party if they're charging you per update. So you want to make sure you know what's in your contract. I know for one of the nonprofits I'm on the board of, they charge us a flat fee every month, and I hammer them with updates. So you want to make sure you're getting your money's worth if you're using a third party. And you want to ask yourself these questions. What are you looking to get out of your website? Is it just you want an online presence? Is it shopping? What do you want your website to say about your company, your organization, your business? What do you want the consumer to see, the first thing they see? Who is your target audience, and how are you interacting with them? Is it fulfilling their needs? If you need 7 clicks to get to something, that's not good. A lot of small companies do what we call like a one-page website, where everything is just, you can scroll once and you can see everything, and it clicks over to maybe 3 or 4 pages. That's a really good way to just get your web presence out there. And you want to know what your goals are. Is it, do you want a lot of clicks? Do you want people to call through your website? Do you want them to fill out a contact form? Is it shopping? A lot of companies had to do online who never did before. So those are things to think about when you're thinking about your goals. And don't forget to measure your analytics. Everybody has a Google Analytics account, whether they know it or not. I just did a webinar with our Google partner on it, and it was fascinating. Some of the stuff that people are just learning by the behaviors on their website. And I know Lauren manages our Adobe analytics because there's, heaven forbid, there's only one form. So it's really interesting. We can really see, you know, who's coming to bbb.org, what they're looking for, how long they're staying on the page. If they go to, you know, obviously the first place they go is to the business profiles, the news articles, how the news articles are doing. So those are the types of things that even a small business owner should be in tune with. So when you're updating your website, again, it's not set it and forget it. I did this presentation a few years ago for another chamber, and I asked around the room, and this was when we could see each other. I said, when was the last time you updated your website? And there was an insurance company there, and they're like, 2009. I'm like, wow, that was a long time ago. The fresher your website, the more likely it's going to be found, because if you make updates and you make sure you're tagging things appropriately, Google will re-index your page, and then it will be found higher on searches. So you really want to keep that website fresh. Okay. Online directories, such as bbb.org, chambers. You want to know where your business is listed. So again, go over, do that Google search and see where you're popping up. Make sure your information's updated. All these platforms have the opportunity to make updates. So you want to take the time to make those updates. And I know Lauren's probably going to yell at me, but I'm still working on some of ours. It's kind of tedious, but you know, when I started, you know, back in 2014, I started working on this project, and I couldn't believe some of the names people had for our organization. BBB of Western New York, BBB of Buffalo, Buffalo BBB. I mean, I had to go through and change a lot of things. And then you want to reconnect with your membership organizations and just see, you know, hey, what's going on? If you're not subscribed to their emails, subscribe, and, you know, make sure you go in, log in and update your chamber profiles as well.
To tack onto that too, it's really important to make sure what Melanie was referencing is we notice that we're affiliated with a number of chambers throughout the state, and some of the chambers had our direct phone number for our desk, for example. Some of them had our AB hotline or our accredited business hotline. So our numbers were all different. So when people are searching Better Business Bureau of Upstate New York, they're going to see a bunch of different phone numbers and not know which one to call. So we went through and made sure that all of them are matching so that people know, oh, that's the number I should be calling when I want to reach Better Business Bureau. So it's that better peace of mind for that person versus them feeling confused and then maybe just not calling. So it's important to look at.
We have a service now for our accredited businesses that will, you know, comb the internet and find errors for them. And we had a company in Liverpool. It was interesting because he's like, I thought somebody was managing this for me. And I walked him through how to update everything. And he's like, I had no idea this was going on. And we get it. People are busy running their businesses, but if you just take an hour a week, 2 hours a week to do these things, it'll make your life a lot easier. I just wanted to touch briefly on a couple other networks, things that I noticed during the pandemic, and they're kind of blowing up. Nextdoor is an app for neighborhoods, and you have to be admitted, I guess, for lack of a better term, to use the app. You have to prove that you live in that neighborhood. And I just saw this app blow up during the pandemic because everybody was looking for recommendations on Nextdoor. Everything from home improvements to dog walkers to someone was looking for a new primary care doctor. Someone was looking for a financial advisor to manage their mother's retirement accounts. So people are asking for recommendations on Nextdoor. People can have listings on Nextdoor for free. So when your business is mentioned, it automatically gets tagged. So it's a great way to reach people who are actually out there looking actively for recommendations. So I recommend people to go to Nextdoor and get that listing set up. The other thing that I saw was Facebook groups. So everybody is in their neighborhood Facebook group. I'm in mine. They're all asking for recommendations. People are tagging businesses. They might not know it, or they might not be looking at their Facebook page. And Lauren's going to talk about Facebook and all that later. But any kind of Facebook group, they're asking for recommendations. People are recommending companies. Make sure that your Facebook page is updated because they're going to tag your page. And if people go over there and you haven't made a post since 2018, they're probably not going to use your services. It's bizarre, but everything needs to be updated. And we're going to actually talk about that with customer reviews in a few minutes. Email marketing is not dead. It is the best way to reach people. Email engagement actually increased during the pandemic, and open rates for major brands went up across the board because people were sitting at home, they were on their phones, they were searching for things, they were actually having a little bit more engagement with email, which is very interesting. There's 3 things to remember when you're getting ready to send out an email to your customers. Is it the right content for the right audience at the right time? You don't want to appear to be tone deaf. I actually unsubscribed from something because it was right in the beginning of the pandemic, and their emails were just they're very tone deaf. It was like nothing was going on. So that for me as a consumer was a turnoff. The number one reason people unsubscribe from emails, because there's too many. So if you're doing an email, make sure again, the right content for the right audience at the right time. We do 1 email a month, which is coming out tomorrow as I'm sitting here like looking at the list of things I need to update. And I pick a focus every month. And this month I'm focusing on small business resources. So I'm making sure that all of the SBA articles we have are updated to reflect that the PPP extension is till the end of May, that all of the articles on bbb.org that I want to share are updated, that they're current, and that it's easy to read, it's good on mobile, and that people will open it. So the other thing I wanted to mention, I didn't put it in here, is if your open rate is low, I wouldn't worry about it. I would worry more about unsubscribes. People engage with email when they need it. Do I need every day an email from the Gap telling me there's a sale? No, but when I do need something, I will open that email. So if your open rate's a little low, but your unsubscribes are 0, people still want to engage with you, just not at that time. Did I see questions?
The question was how to get onto our email list.
Oh, just send over your email. It's for accredited businesses, but I can send you a sample of the email if you want to take a look. All right, Lauren, you want to take it away with customer reviews?
Sure. Customer reviews are just so important. And Melanie mentioned earlier how she saw a business that was responding only to negative reviews, but you want to make sure you respond to positive reviews as well, because if people see that you care, that they took the time out of their day to leave you a positive review, the least you could do is say thank you in return. It's going to leave a positive impression on them too, that you were thanking them for their time, that maybe they'll want to work with you again in the future. Like I mentioned before, one of our key things with BBB is trust. And one of the ways you can show that trust is through those reviews. Here's a quote that I found from HubSpot about a year ago, but it still holds true to today. Who are you more likely to trust? A salesperson who will profit from your purchase, or a customer who has experience with the product you're considering and can give you an honest review? You're going to connect more with the person that is most like you, which is the person who left that review. They're just a consumer just like you. They use the product like you would, and it's not someone who's just trying to sell you that product or that service. So you're more willing to trust that than you are the salesperson. Why do you need reviews? It boosts your brand recognition. It increases your search engine optimization. It provides instant feedback for you, ways that maybe you can improve on your business or things that you're doing great and you should keep up. And it's a direct communication with your consumers and your community. And where do you want these reviews? You want them on Google, Yelp, Facebook, and of course, your BBB business profile.
And it's important to note that our reviews are verified before they're published. And it's funny, our accredited business team will get our accredited businesses will call and say, my customer filed a review an hour ago. How come it's not published? And it takes, it can take up to 24 hours for that review to get published, because we reach out to the consumer and say, did you write this review? And then we reach out to the company and say, was this person your customer? To make sure that it's not just somebody who is going rogue and has keyboard muscles and is writing negative reviews or positive reviews that are false. We want to make sure they're true, or it's not the owner's cousin writing a review. My brother's friend owns a landscaping business, and every summer he's on Facebook saying, write us a review, write us a review. And I finally sent him a direct message. I said, but they're not your customers. He's like, but I just want the positive reviews. I go, but they don't know what you do. I mean, I was trying to explain to him why you don't want to just pad your page with random reviews, that you want honest, truthful, real reviews from real customers.
Especially
Be-
during the pandemic too, if
Yeah.
you don't mind me adding that in, people are looking to see how you are as a business during COVID. They want to see that you're following protocols, that consumers are feeling safe going to your restaurant or having you come to their home during the pandemic when the virus is spreading. So they want to make sure that there's someone that you can trust with those health protocols as well. So having those current reviews is super important.
Yeah. Because customers read up to 10 reviews before they feel they can trust a business. Another, as Lauren said, with the pandemic, 31% of consumers said they read more reviews in 2020, but 34% said they read fewer, which is interesting. But again, not a lot of companies have these reviews. They don't realize how important it is to have them. Consumers are most likely to look at Google My Business for local business reviews, but they trust BBB reviews the most because, again, we do verify everything. 73% of consumers only pay attention to reviews written in the last month, which is huge. We keep reviews on our page on our bbb.org for 3 years, and then they fall off. And we had a company asking, what happened to my reviews? And he's like, I need those reviews. And we're trying to convince him, go get more. People love to see 87 customer reviews with 4.98 stars, things like that. They want to see that you're interacting with your customers and that it's current, because especially in the home improvement industry, we talk about a lot because it's one of our biggest industries. A review from 3 years ago might not be the same crew who's coming to my house tomorrow. So people want to know what that authentic experience is today, not what it was 3 years ago. Even Lauren had a different job 3 years ago. So, things like that people really want to know right out of the gate. Okay, this job was done a week ago and these people are really happy. Okay, this sounds good. I'm going to give that company a call. I don't know if you wanted to add anything. You look like you want to add something.
The only thing I was going to add is if anyone noticed on our Google My Business account, ours is only 3-point-something stars because people come to our account, unfortunately, to give bad ratings for other businesses. So if you see that we have a low rating, it's because they're rating a business a low star, and unfortunately it went to our profile. So, but you'll see we replied in that comment, we're sorry to hear about your experience with that company. Here's a link to file a review, or I'm sorry, file a complaint about them so that they can at least go that next step. So in case you're wondering why we're preaching getting those reviews and we have a low rating, it's because people are coming to our profile, unfortunately, to leave negative reviews for businesses.
Yeah, it's I always have to laugh when I see that, but we're the best thing is people read the comments, they read the responses. I was talking to a business the other day who's not accredited, was looking to get accredited, and he was upset because he had a complaint. And I read the complaint and I called the gentleman. I said, you did the right thing. You answered the complaint. You were honest. You tried to make it right. You did make it right because the complaint was resolved. I said, that's what people are looking for. They're not just looking like, oh, this guy has a complaint. They're actually reading it to see what the complaint was. And then they're reading your response. I read so many standoffish complaint responses that I'm like, oh, I wish I could just sit with this business owner and say, okay, let's rip this up and start over. If you want to do the angry response, get your notebook out, handwrite it, read it, burn it, and then go to the keyboard and write the happy response. Because that's what people see, that tone is really important. So where do consumers go after they read the reviews? They go to your website. They search for more reviews to further validate their choice. So that's why it's important to be updated on all the directories to make sure that people can find your business on, like we said, Yelp, Google, BBB. They will visit the business's location. They'll continue searching for other businesses, and then they will contact the business. So this is how it all works together. You want to make sure your website's updated. You want to make sure that you're getting reviews on multiple platforms. You want to make sure your Google business picture is on there so they can go visit your location. And if they're not going to use your business or another business, they'll continue searching for other businesses, and then they'll reach out and contact. So that's how all of that works together. So I'm going to turn it over to Lauren now to talk about social media and your business.
All right, you can go to the next slide. Again, we've said this 100 times already, but you want to make sure you're being responsive even on your social media accounts. Answering a complaint on social media can increase your customer advocacy by 25%. That's a huge margin. And 79% of consumers expect brands to respond within a day of reaching out over social media, but the average brand response rates across all industries is actually lower than 25%. So people are expecting that quick response, especially on social media, but people aren't responding. If you at least have, if you go through your messages and at least pick a time of the day, be like, oh, okay, on my lunch or like right before lunchtime or right when I get back from lunch, I'll see if we have any messages, or at the end of the day, I'll go through and check my messages, because people, if you respond to them, they're going to be more willing to work with you. If there's that lag time in between, they're going to feel like you forgot about them or that they moved on to somebody else already. So responding to someone on social media is so important.
Yeah, and there's that pressure of, so I manage 2 pages of your Facebook message response rate.
Oh yeah.
they'll send you a message if you don't respond. So there's like the pressure is on to respond. So it's always good to respond.
Mm-hmm. One of the best things you can do to make the most out of your social media presence is figure out who your target audience is. So before you decide which platform you're going to use, figure out who you're targeting. Is it millennials? Is it just what age group are you trying to target? What is it that they're interested in? And then figure out which platform it is that they use the most. So where can you find them? Are they going to be on Facebook? Are they going to be on Instagram? Is it better for you to go on LinkedIn, or should you be on TikTok? So figure out what platforms you should use to target your audience, and then advertise them appropriately for when you are communicating with them. It's really important to share visual posts as well too. So it could be photos of your products, pictures of you, especially if it's something that you don't necessarily have a product of, maybe things that you're doing out in your community, and videos. And I'll talk about the importance of videos in a few slides. Also, if you're on a platform that has stories or reels or something along those lines, that's another easy way for you to get your brand out into the social media realm. So why social media? With over 53% of the world's population on social media, it's critical your business has an effective social media strategy that helps you reach your intended audience. That's a lot of people on social media. So just being on a social media platform is already reaching more people than you would just having your name on a directory or just having your website online. 54% of social browsers use social media to research products. Each person spends an average of 2 hours and 25 minutes on social networks and messaging every day. So that's 2 hours and 25 minutes of that person's time where you can appear on their feed and at least get your brand. If they don't interact with you, they can at least see your brand or remember that you exist. Social media content is shareable and serves as free public relations among your audiences. So if you share a post and then an individual is sharing that to their audience, you're reaching more people than you would have if you just had that on your account. It's that free, basically word of mouth, but digitally. 3.6 billion people use social media globally, and 57, oh, I have a spelling error on this slide, oops. And 57% of consumers follow businesses because they want to learn about new products or services. So people are looking to find new things that they can get, that they can interact with, and new businesses they can interact with. And 45% of consumers will unfollow a brand on social media if their content is irrelevant. And that's why it's important to find those platforms that your target audience is on, because you already made that connection that your product or service is relevant to them. And those are all current stats, by the way. Those are from the surveys that analyzed the 2020 data, and then they released that in early 2021. So those are very fresh statistics. So why should you use video, or how can you use video? One way that you can use video is to go live and have a Q&A. So Melanie and I, we go live every Tuesday on Instagram, and we talk about different things that are happening with our BBB. It could be an upcoming webinar that we're doing. So we promoted this one on yesterday's Instagram Live. We also have been sharing some of our Zoom webinars onto Facebook, because you can stream them live as well. And that has been a huge benefit for us, we've noticed, because we're always trying to do new things with video. And when we started sharing our Zoom presentations on Facebook, we noticed that more people were sharing it or watching it after the fact as well. So that was a strong benefit to doing that. People can see your authentic self as well when you're using video. They're not just reading a sentence, or they're not just looking at a picture. They're actually being able to see who you are. They have that more emotional connection versus just reading a static sentence. You can save the videos that you create as well, cut them up and use them for future posts. This saves your public relations team, or if you are your own public relations team, it saves you time and money because you're repurposing old content that is still relevant in the future. Watch your lighting and your surrounding sound. Make sure you're planning ahead before you choose to record any video, or especially if you're going live, make sure your cell phones are silenced. That I know I'm in the office today, I have a sign on my door, so that way hopefully no one will come in as I'm presenting. So make people know that you're going live. And if you have any dogs or kids, or for example, maybe plan to do a live video when they're not in the room, maybe it's nap time and you know you have a little time that it's a little bit more silent. So think about those things, or especially now at this time of year, if you're working from home and people are going to be cutting their lawns, keep exterior sounds in mind as you're going to record. We also, Melanie and I, since we had to start working from home, we ended up buying oh my gosh, ring lights. And so that way, if it's a little bit dim in our house, we can plug in the ring light so that our faces are a little bit brighter. If people are sharing videos of them using your product or talking about your service, encourage them to tag you in those and get your brand out there in that way. And if you're on TikTok, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering today. If you're on TikTok, invite fans to duet your video and show, if you're doing like an example on how to do something in your house. I know someone said you're a real estate agent. If maybe you're talking about how to change something up in the house to make it sell a little bit better or look a little bit more exciting when people are coming to visit the home, then maybe have them do a duet of them doing what you suggested for them to do. Or if you're a cook, show how to do a recipe and then have them duet how they're doing the recipe on their end. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use TikTok as well. Okay. How does video help? Because you might be thinking, oh, I don't want to do that. Melanie and I shoot so much video every week right from our phones, and we upload them in a variety of different ways. I noticed at the beginning of the pandemic, when we were sharing those static links to articles on bbb.org, they weren't getting much attention. So we started turning them into video content, and it has helped increase our engagement on social media so much. So 54% of consumers want to see video content from a brand they support. They're more willing to engage with that. We process visual content 60,000 times faster than written content, and we remember more content longer. So we're remembering those videos and those visuals more than we are text or photos. Video inspires empathy and emotions because they're seeing that authentic person speaking and they're seeing their surroundings that they're in. They can relate to it a little bit more. 92% of consumers on mobile will share videos with others. They're more willing to share those videos with their followers and their friends and family than they are just a regular post. And videos drive the most ad clicks on Facebook. Again, those are all stats from 2021.
Think about when you're scrolling through your social media. I always stop when a video starts because I'm like, what are they talking about? What are they doing? And I would more likely to engage with that video than just a regular picture or a post. So it's just, we can't hammer it home enough how important video is. And we're actually asking our accredited businesses to share a video with us telling their story during the pandemic, like how they pivoted, how they survived. And we just want, again, to have our businesses using video. So we're encouraging them by saying, we're going to put you in a webinar if you do this. So we're using video probably more than any other BBB in the country right now. And it's just so easy to turn on your camera. It was funny, we had a meeting with our management team yesterday and our vice president's like, boy, you look so nice. I'm like, well, it's recording video Tuesday.
A few more social media ideas if maybe you're stuck and you don't know what to do. Tell people how you're giving back. People love to see when businesses are giving back to the community that they're working in and that they're living in. And it could be that make or break factor if they're torn between two businesses and one business isn't really doing anything with their community. They're not really getting involved. And then they see a business that is giving back to the community. They might be like, oh, I like that this business is giving back to the community that we live in. It shows that they care about the community. So I'm going to choose them based on those two because I can see that my money is also going to go back into the community. you can hold a contest. We've done a few of these with BBB, especially during the pandemic, and it really does have an impact on your page. People get excited when they see a contest, especially if it's a product that they would like to receive. Just make sure if you do choose to hold a contest that you have all of the details right in your post. So explaining what the protocol is. So if they need to follow your account, like the picture, tag a friend, whatever it may be, have that all laid out so that no one can say, oh, this person didn't do that. Or you can say, oh, you weren't included in this contest if anyone questions it because you didn't do XYZ. Also include the date that submissions are due by, and then each social media platform requires a specific statement just saying that like Facebook is not affiliated with this contest. So if you have any complaints, you cannot hold Facebook accountable. So make sure you just look at their contest policy before you share something. Employee features, we started doing this in November, October, somewhere around there. We started featuring the anniversaries of our employees at BBB. And some months, these are the most popular and most engaged with posts on our social media, which even though I just said video is the way to go, and we do get a lot of engagement. Normally that's our top one, but every once in a while we have a month where people just love celebrating the people that are working for our company. So an employee feature is a great, easy way for you to get that engagement up on your social media. Behind the scenes, people love seeing the behind the scenes factors of businesses. What makes the operation happen? How do you make your product? What is your day-to-day life? So some fun behind the scenes extra sneak peek is always fun. Industry tips. So again, like I mentioned on TikTok before on that last slide, if there's anything that you feel like you are an expert in, like we're talking about social media, we're talking about reputation management. So we have shared industry tips of that nature on our social media. So what is it that makes you stand out, and how can you provide tips and knowledge and then encourage people to come work with you in the future on your social media accounts? Polls and surveys are also a great way for you to get people to engage with your content. Ask them for their opinion, see what it is that they're interested in. Is there anything that maybe you have to offer and you say, which of these services can I help you with most? And then that could be a great way for you to connect with them in a conversation at a future networking event. Memes, GIFs, and quotes that correlate with what you do or what's going on with the world. Of course, make sure it's appropriate for what you're sharing, but just a little lighthearted side of you, having that lightheartedness on your account is a little bit more relatable to individuals as well. Infographics, so sharing some minor stats that aren't over people's head. And then user-generated content. This one is huge. 49% of people say user-generated content on social media significantly impacts their purchasing decisions. So that means if you don't know what user-generated content is, the individual who came to your business or who worked with you is sharing something, tagging you in the post. They're sharing a picture of them or a video of them using your product or talking about your service. And that's basically like a review for you. It's people sharing their actual experience in a current post, and then you can share that to your account and thank them for working with you. Some more little reminders: promote info in your header photos. So on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, there's a header photo at the top of your account. You can add links as well, especially on Facebook. They have a button that you can say, learn more, or contact me, message me. You can change up that button so people can interact with you in that way. But your header photo is the first thing they're going to see when they go to your profile. So if you have an event coming up or a special offer going on, include that in that header photo. We've done that for webinars in the past, and we had an arrow to the button and said register here, and then they could sign up right through Facebook. So it's a quick, easy way to get a message out right off the bat when people go to your account. You can also pin important posts to the top of your profile. So for example, there was a lot of COVID updates for different businesses during the pandemic. So they pinned a post about what's going on with their business during the pandemic so that they didn't have to keep resharing their hours, their changed hours, or their changed protocol every single day. They just pinned it to the top of their page so that as people are scrolling, the first post that they saw was the pinned one. So I could save you some time as well. Just make sure if it's no longer relevant for either your header photo or your pinned post, make sure you unpin it or remove that header photo. pay attention to the times that your audience is paying attention. And a lot of those different platforms, there's the analytics option. So you can go in, or insights, it's called on a few other pages. So you want to go into that and see, okay, I noticed a lot of my audience is interacting with my page at 6 p.m., which maybe that's outside of your time frame that you're working, but that's when people are paying attention. So maybe you want to start posting your content for that day at 6 p.m. or promoting something for that week at 6 p.m. because more people will be seeing it and engaging with it. Use hashtags if you know what they're for. So if it's something that is popular, don't just hop on the bandwagon. You want to make sure that you're using something that's relevant to you and that can get you a little bit more recognition. Hashtags are more popular though on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. So we don't really encourage it for LinkedIn and Facebook, but you can still, of course, use those. Look at your competitors too. Don't be afraid to see what's working for them and apply that to your own social media strategy. See if they have a large following, are they using a specific hashtag that maybe you should be using on your post because it's clearly getting a lot of recognition? Or are they sharing a lot about their behind the scenes and industry tips? And how can you tailor that to you? Obviously, don't copy them verbatim, make it your own. But it's okay to look at your competition. We do that in our office with our BBB. We can see that someone else is posting something and we're like, oh, can we do that with us? And I'm happy to say that a lot of BBBs are copying our content lately. So that makes me feel very flattered. Create a calendar to help you keep track as well, because there's always so much that you could be sharing on social media that you sometimes forget, or a day passes and you're like, oh, I meant to promote that yesterday. I completely forgot. So create your own little social media calendar. It could be simple. Sometimes I do ours in Excel. We also have a social media platform that helps us with our scheduling, so I can see that virtually as well. But then I have that paper copy just in case anything happens and we can't access that social calendar. So you can schedule ahead, or like I said, so you don't forget to post something, it's right there for you to see, and then you can cross that off for that day. Do an annual social media audit. That way you can see, okay, these posts maybe didn't work out so well for us. How can we tweak that? Like I mentioned earlier, we noticed that if we just shared a link to an article on BBB, it wasn't working for us. When we changed it to video, now I said these are some of the most popular pieces that we share on our social media. So figure out ways that you can tweak what's not working and make it work for you. And also see what is working, what should we keep doing and keep applying to our social media strategy in the future, because that's clearly making an impression. So we want to keep those numbers up, and we're going to keep that consistent. And we've said this a million times now, respond to everything, even if it's just a comment. Say thank you for your time and thank you for using us. Let us know how we can be a help in the future.
So much moving around now. I have to minimize the thumbnails. There we go, because I can't see the page. I'm just going to roll through this real quick because I know we're coming up at the top of the hour, and I keep looking over, my phone's blowing up because Bernie Madoff died. I didn't know he was still alive. Just as Lauren said, keep your social media up to date. Make sure you're engaging with your customers and your potential customers. Respond to all reviews, good and bad. We should count how many times we say respond in this presentation. Make sure your directory listings are updated. Get listed on directories where you're not listed. Monitor yourself. You can set up free Google alerts. You can search, maybe once a week, search your name, search your company name to see if there's anything out there that you may have missed. And like I said, that's a benefit for BBB accredited businesses that we do that monitoring for you. Respond to voicemails, emails, and contact forms. When my husband and I bought our house 3 years ago, I was doing a lot of A/B testing with our accredited businesses on contact forms and email forms that are on their websites to see if we could get responses. And one of the companies did respond, but the rest didn't. And I called another company and I got, your voicemail is full. So make sure those are all cleaned out and that you're keeping up to date with them. And if you're somebody who works outside or you're with customers all day and you can't keep up, if there's somebody who can do that for you, have them do it for you. Make sure, again, you're monitoring everything for daily comments or reviews. Become an expert. Lauren talked a little bit about this, but if you're in, we're talking about the real estate person again, be an expert, offer, like ask me anything, an AMA live, or write an article, a blog post, even a Facebook post about something you are an expert on. Getting involved with the community, outside activities is always a great thing that people will look at. And, again, think before acting. I'm the spokesperson. I'm on TV. My name is out there. It is my real name. I am very, very careful about the way I interact on social media because people don't look at me as Melanie McGovern. They look at me as Melanie McGovern of the Better Business Bureau, no matter if it's my personal Facebook, my personal Instagram. So I always have to think to myself, how would this reflect on the brand if I posted it? Or when I used to teach at Fredonia, I used to say to the kids, would you call your grandmother and tell her that? Just a couple of quick reminders. Everything has been so crazy with businesses and all of the other things that are going on. So you want to make sure you're using reliable sources, especially when it comes to SBA information. You want to use the Small Business Administration. I know a lot of people are putting out articles and things like that about PPP, but you really want to go to the source. Anything with COVID, you want to go to the CDC, your local county health department, anything with New York State, Empire State Development. So those are just some of the sources that we use and that we cite when we give information to our businesses. Again, maintaining that positive reputation. You don't want it to look like you're taking advantage of the pandemic. You want to make sure that you're helping people and you're not just saying things because of the pandemic. And you don't want to make inflammatory comments or anything that would put people off. So those are just a couple of little things to think about. And just, again, keep promoting the honesty. If you don't have things in stock, if you can't get a crew out to somebody's house right away, let people know. We know Lauren and I both have done a lot of home improvements this year because you can't go anywhere, so you might as well spend the money on something. And every single company we used, both of us used accredited businesses, and they were very honest with us. We signed the contract to get our siding done in October. They finished last week because they couldn't get to us until March, which is fine. A lot of people are very understanding about things that are going on right now. And again, you want to make sure that you're letting people know that you're following the public health protocols, the mask, the distancing. It would be a great social post to say, here's the plexiglass we have in front of our store, things like that, just so you're showing people, hey, we're taking this very seriously. Here are all the public health protocols that we're following. So with that, I'm going to go back to the gallery view. Does anybody have any questions?
I want to add one thing real quick too about social media, kind of
Sure.
tagging off something that Melanie said a couple slides ago. If you share something that maybe you think is inappropriate, or like, oh, I shouldn't have shared that, and you remove it, remember that people can screenshot things. So even though something's gone, it could still be out there in existence because of that screenshot. So keep that in mind, that even if you think it's gone, people can still be sharing a screenshot of what you posted. So it's better just not to post something that's inappropriate.
I just responded to you, Kelly. I'll check and see. I know we did take Tom off the list. So I'll make sure that all you guys are on there so you can get the emails.
Okay, thank you.
Melanie, do you and Lauren mind just throwing your emails out there on the
Nope.
chat? Is that
No
okay?
problem.
And I know we're getting up on the hour. Does anybody have questions? You can unmute and ask them.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Sure. Hi,
Okay.
Lauren.
Hi, thank you so much. This was really great. There's a lot of these things I'm kind of happy because we're doing some of them, but there are also a lot of really great ideas. So I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to put this together. The other thing that I'd like to ask probably Eric is whether or not this was recorded and if it will be available.
You can ask Eric that question. It is recorded.
Yes, it is being recorded, right, Stephen?
It is being recorded, and Lori, it will be put up on YouTube by the end of the day.
Okay, great.
So
Thank
I can
you.
send you the link.
Okay, it's funny because I often have people ask me, or they want to pick my brain about certain things just because of my position, and I would love to just share this presentation if I could. So thank you.
Hey, thank you for your feedback.
Mhm.
And if anyone ever does have a question after this, and maybe it comes to mind later today or next week, Melanie and I have all of our social media platforms on our phones. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn with BBB. So feel free to shoot us a message through there. If you forgot our email on here or don't have our contact info, feel free to reach out to us through that and we can respond to you.
And Lauren and Melanie did put, Lauren, you put yours. Oh, I got them. Okay, Lauren and Melanie did put their emails out there for folks, so if you need.
And the email that's on the screen goes to my inbox.
Oh, beautiful.
One of I think 6 aliases I have.
Any other questions?
Not a question, but a comment. This is fantastic, both of you. I can't speak for the entire chamber, but I look forward to doing more with the Better Business Bureau. This is something that we're really, really happy about partnering with you guys.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet you guys in person.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I was telling my husband travels for work and he's gone this week. And I said, just can't wait to get back out on the road. He goes, really? You used to complain about traveling, like you were doing too much of it. I go, but I miss everybody.
Yeah.
And it's just such a great way for us to become part of your community as well. And just, let people know you can call us, email us anytime if you have any questions.
That's probably, I've been here 26 years. That's probably the number I've had to give out the most is the Better Business Bureau. And you're correct. There was a lot of confusion. Was there a Rochester one? Was there a Buffalo one? So now there is just one for the 48 counties, you said, upstate? And it's the number that we would have in our database, correct? Or you want to throw that up there?
Yeah.
A number that I could hand out to people that call?
I will put it in the chat. It's
Thank you.
800-828-5000. There's a prompt menu and it'll get you to where you need to be. I think I'm number 8.
Number 8. I won't give that.
Well,
one.
it's if you I think the prompt is if you're a member of the media, press 8 because I
Okay.
deal with the media and sometimes people think they're talking to the news when they call.
Right.
And I have to explain to them that I'm just in the office trying to help out. But it's some of we talked about what happened to the couple that I found you guys in the paper.
Yeah.
Trying to help people, and it's hard to help people sometimes because it's a lot of the stories that people get scammed they're heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So any information we can get to the public is just huge.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Well, we'll wrap it up. Just a blatant plug, our next virtual, we're still going virtual, webinar is going to be on May 12th. We're going to have a representative from Edward Jones Financial, who's also chamber members here in Batavia, discussing a 529 plan. So if you have children, grandchildren, interested in potentially someday moving on to college or higher education, it's a great plan to use for that purpose, tax deferred, that whole 9 yards. So you'll be seeing that coming down from our offices and in our various ways, Facebook, chamber chat, the whole 9 yards. Also,
Steve, I thought we talked about that a little bit. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was saying, Steve and I talked a little bit about that as well. I'll talk to Steve after.
Sure. Great. Thanks, Mike. And then also our golf outing is scheduled for July 14th out at Davis Country Meadows. So golf and bocce outing. So if you're interested in joining us on that day, it's going to be 85 and sunny.
Or
And,
sponsorships. Sponsorships are always available.
Sponsorships are always available. So look for that as well. My big takeaway today is that Stephen apparently is now allowed to do duets on TikTok. So we'll be looking forward to that coming soon. So thank you, everyone. Everybody have a great week. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank
Thank you
you.
to Melanie and Lauren. You guys did a great job.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.